to the channel. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Join me on today's video where I will show you the watch that everybody needs. This is my latest acquisition. Yes, it is a Seiko. Now I've been incredibly bored looking on eBay, just looking for the next watch to buy to add to my collection, and I come across something which I've known they've been around for a long time. I've appreciated them from quite a distance, but then I decided to pull the trigger as the price was very incredible. The watch was also in incredible condition, and I firmly believe that this is the watch that everybody needs. It's my new go-to daily beta, and generally what the watch community sort of wants. I think this watch has it, at least in the dimensions. So let's crack open the box and show you what I have. On wrist today, I'm wearing the Tactical Froggo. Alright, so back to opening the box and let's have a look at this. Yes, it's a Seiko 5. Now, which Seiko 5? As you know, there's literally hundreds and thousands. I went with a very specific version. So this is the Seiko SNX S79. You can see it's got that grey sunburst dial. I call it a baby 62 mass, if you will, as it's got very similar hour markers to the Seiko 62 mass diver. Very similar hands as well. And you know what, this watch, it has to be the one. It's absolutely incredible. So let me go through this. Now, it is quite an old watch, however, it's still not discontinued. You can buy these watches from Watch Nation, from Amazon, and they're only priced at around £120, so about $150 ish, give or take 10 or 20 pounds, depending on the variant you get or the color option. This does have plenty of options out there, different case colors, different dial colors, but ultimately I found this one is the one that I wanted. It's not so easy to get this grey dial actually. In fact, on the second-hand market on eBay, as with a lot of the Seikos these days, they actually sell for more than brand new price. Now I got this really well priced. Condition on this, as you can tell, it has been really well maintained. There's not a scratch on the crystal, no obvious marks on the case, and the bracelet is actually pretty unmarked as well. So I was very excited to get this. I got this for around just under £70. So the condition was listed as just new other. So I'm very excited that I got this. And as soon as this came in, couldn't wait to put it on my wrist. And I've had it on for a couple of days and it's just absolutely fantastic. So, as far as watches go, especially automatic watches, I think a Seiko 5 automatic is a very good place to start. A lot of Seiko fans do actually have a Seiko 5 in the collection. I believe it's a staple. It's something which, even if you don't start with it, you end up having one. And I believe, as you mature through the watch hobby, especially for me, I'm looking at just different things now and I decided to go for this. I mean, this is the cheapest Seiko I've got, least spec Seiko in my collection. However, it doesn't stop me from putting it on. It still puts a smile on my face and I really enjoy wearing it and looking at it. Now, why am I saying this is the watch that you all need? Well, time and time again, looking at all the different watches that are coming out and looking at the direction the micro brands are going, you'll notice that there's a lot of vintage appeal coming back, a lot of vintage aesthetic making its way back into current modern times, and this is what people are asking for. They're asking for these smaller cases. On nearly every video where you have a new micro brand, new watch released, there's somebody saying, I wish it was a 38mm, I wish it was a 37mm, etc. So this watch comes in with a 37mm case diameter, comes in with a thickness of 11.5mm and a lug to lug of 42mm. Very petite dimensions compared to what we have currently, and a very nice and classic, very sleek design. You've also got this really nice small little crown that is recessed within to the case, so it gives you a really nice streamlined profile. There's no crowns sticking out. And yes, you have a hard Lex crystal, you have a polished bezel, a fully polished case, you've got a brushed bracelet. You do have a Seiko 7S26 date movement, which is without the hacking and hand winding function. So it's just a full automatic watch where you have to put it on and just rotate the watch in order to get it to function. Just have a look at the grey sunburst dial, and the quality is present at even this super entry level from Seiko. Just look at all the applied hour markers, batons, dual at the 12, thicker batons at the 6 and the 9. You've got a date window with a silver polished frame. You've got an applied Seiko logo with the 5, and you've got these polished chamfered hands. Some nice printing above the 6, just says simple automatic. At the bottom you've got the movement. So really nicely done watch. Incredible loom as well. I'll show you that just shortly. And you know, for brand new £120, I think it's a very good starting place. The thing with these is you get fashion watches that retail at twice that amount, and they've got, you know, the really cheap Chinese quartz movements in there. And I also think that this reminds you of Seiko's roots. You know, they set out to make really good value, affordable watches for, you know, your average Joe, your working class man. And this is why you have the Seiko 5 present. It's what it stands for. Now, Seiko 5 refers to the watch's attributes. So anything with a Seiko 5 on the dial should have the following. One is a date complication. One, it has to be automatic. One, it has to have a durable case, durable bracelet, and it also has to be water resistant. This watch is water resistant to 30 meters. Now, on the net, you'll see a couple of other additions. One being something called the Diaflex, which is Seiko's Unbreakable Mainspring, and the other one is Dia-Shock, so shock resistance, similar to the Swiss Inca Block technology. So when you put it that way, the specs, it is pretty well spec'd out for a super entry-level budget daily beta, and I think that is really incredible. Now, moving on to the bracelet, of course, it's nothing like the bracelets that we see today on, you know, dive watches, etc. It is quite cheap. It feels quite cheap, feels very light. You know, you've got hollow end links, you've got folded links, you've got a very cheap, just stamped clasp, and a press clasp on there with Seiko stamped along the back. You've got 6 micro adjusts, which is actually quite handy. But the bracelet in hand, you know, does feel very light. You know, there's quite a bit of movement in it. It doesn't feel premium by any stretch. However, that's not what it's for. But the bracelet is extremely comfortable. You've got a female end link, and you've got these mini links here. And you also have a really nice taper. Lug width is 19 millimeters, and your first link extends to 20 millimeters. So giving this nice taper, which goes down to 16 millimeters at the clasp. So it does look quite good on wrist, which I'll show you just shortly. It just goes to show you don't have to have top spec watch, a very expensive watch, for it to actually look good and wear really well. So let's put this on wrist and check that out. Perfect dimensions in my mind. 6.5 inch wrist, and that just fits absolutely spot on. Go down to the bracelet. And as I said, the bracelet is cheap. You know, it's not a very expensive bracelet. It's not a very substantial bracelet. However, just look how comfortably that sits. Look how well that wears. 37mm, no exposed crown. Really good lug to lug. And that bracelet just really hugs your wrist and wears light and very comfortable. And as I said about the loom, I don't know if it is Seiko Lumi Bright, but it's not far off. Very bright, longevity is present as well. And just look at all the markers, how well applied the loom is, how well they are lit up. And I think that is more than you can ask for on just a standard daily watch to wear. So this is why I think this watch is really good. It may not be the best, most refined watch, most expensive watch. However, it ticks all the boxes at a very decent level. So as I just showed you, you know, there's not a lot of watches that even give you that level of loom on a watch like this. Good polishing around the case. You know, there's nothing defective on the watch. Everything is smooth. Everything looks how it should. The bracelet is incredibly comfortable for being, you know, such a, let's say, cheap and hollow bracelet. Polished chamfer hands, a lot of detail present on the dial, and that is what you admire. You know, since I've had it on, I can't stop admiring that dial. You've got day-date complication, 7S26 movement, extremely reliable movement, and reasonably accurate as well. So I think overall a very good watch for £120. The links will be in the description if you choose to buy one, and just look out for the grey dial. It is not too difficult to get hold of, but it does take a bit of looking. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. This is my new daily beta, and I'll see you on the next video.